Welcome back to Instant Anime.
Just Add Music.
I'm Sarah.
I'm Jimmy.
Thanks for joining us. If this is your first time listening, welcome. This is a podcast where Jimmy and I listen to a song and make an anime for it.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it here first, folks. Today's song is Eye of the Storm by G-Friend. My friend and your friend, G-Friend.
G-Friend.
Eye of the Storm. We encourage you to listen to the song if you want to. Maybe you pause, maybe you already listened, listen at the end, whatever. But it's the song that Jimmy and I listened to give us our ideas today.
Yeah.
So after listening to the song, we took 5 minutes, instant, that's the part, and wrote the ideas of the animes that would have Eye of the Storm as the theme song. So that's what we've done, and now we're going to share our ideas with each other and then combine them into a mega anime. Right here, right now.
Mm-hmm.
We cast ourselves at the end, and the title of the episode is the title of the anime we come up with, so you know before us where this is going. And then we have some spiel at the end, but...
Standard podcast.
Self-promotion.
If you've ever listened to a podcast before, they tell you to rate and subscribe or whatever.
But we wait till the end, so you can skip it if you want.
Yeah. You can just stop. But, those completionists out there, like me, if you have an unfinished podcast episode,
See, and I like that we have an outro because that gives me enough time to find my listening device and, navigate away or whatever I want to do before it just being like, okay, bye, and welcome back to another episode.
We did not have an outro for quite a while.
So that was my doing, I think. I pushed for that 100%. Quite a bit.
Because I was like, we need an intro. And you were like, okay. We also need an outro.
It's just nice.
It gives you 2 pieces of distinct music.
I mean, it just gives you those extra seconds to figure out what you're doing. Mm-hmm. I think.
Actually, I think the true thing, what happened is we had an outro for spooky episodes. And then you're like,
I like it.
I like doing that better because then there's a true ending. And I was like, all right, here we go. Here we go again. More work for old Jimmy.
Over 100 episodes now ago. Because I think around the 100th episode is when we did the intro situation. So
look at us.
We're in the 220s.
Yeah.
Holy cats.
Been having the same
ideas
for
years.
Over 100 episodes.
So glad you've joined us. But I think that's kind of
the hope is that our brains know whether or not we've talked about the same episode, vibe of an episode before.
No guarantee.
I think we've come up with some similar ideas, but I don't think we've ever come up with the same idea. Or even I've come up with an idea that you had previously.
Yeah.
This intro is officially getting way too long.
Yeah.
Let's get into it.
Okay. Anything you wanted to add in addition to what I said originally?
No, you've nailed it all. Okay. Last thing would be if you don't want to search the song, we do provide a link in the podcast description.
Yes.
And you can listen to the song there. Again, we highly recommend you listen to the song. Generally amazing songs, whether they're suggestions or ones just from our backlog, which is today. Nobody suggested this one. We want you to listen to it because it is the basis for the show, is you doing a little bit of homework, getting that song in your brain so that you sort of are vibing with us and our ideas.
Yeah, that's the hope.
Yep.
But with all that out of the way, I think I'm going to share my idea.
Let's do it.
Okay, for Eye of the Storm by G-Friend. Dun 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 dun. A pair of twins were very close as children but grew apart as they grew older. After the untimely death of one of the twins, the other attempts to reconnect to their memory by taking part in the other's pastime, gaming.
Oh.
The twin enters the digital world that their siblings spent so much time in, only to discover a ghost. When you do time travel, or not time travel, time trials.
It's Animal Crossing, the story with the mom. You remember that one?
Yeah.
The very sad one.
Shit, yeah.
With
all the letters
presents and letters and stuff.
Well, shit, I wasn't quite going there.
Oh, that's okay. My idea will definitely shift away from that.
All right, well, let me just finish mine up real quick. The siblings spent so much time in this world, they discover a ghost of their twin's character that they can play with.
That's fun.
But as time passes and the living twin becomes more immersed, lines start to blur. Are they playing with a ghost or the ghost?
Dun, 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 dun.
And then I thought of a title of all things.
Oh.
Ghost Half.
Ghost half.
Yeah.
Ghost slash half?
Oh, definitely.
Perfect. Very anime. Got it.
Yeah.
I like it.
So it's like, I don't know, I got MMO.
Yeah. Oh,
Sword
yeah.
Art Online
yeah.
kind of a vibe.
I did too.
So that's
Don't get
mine.
me wrong.
That's mine.
Our ideas are very different, but
The vibe
we
check.
got the same vibe. So that's good because I think they'll mesh pretty well.
Let's hope.
There's even a little slot where mine can fit into yours.
Oh.
Or yours fits into mine. But either way.
We'll see.
I'll share my idea.
Please do.
And I think I've brought up the Animal Crossing
Sad
mom
story.
save
Yeah.
in a previous episode, like who knows how many ago. But I think
Yeah.
we've done something MMO ghosty
Oh, man.
in the past.
Man.
Just when I was saying we try to come up with different ideas, here you are.
Always
Hitting
here
the
to
old
look like a
hits.
fool.
No, but I think it wasn't that we came up with the similar idea. It's just that.
Just tell me
that
yours,
story
would
is
you?
very okay. Here's my idea for Eye of the Storm by G-Friend. Girlfriend? G-Friend. It's not specifically girlfriend. It's G-Friend.
It's a good friend.
It's a good friend. The sports team has been transported to another world. Now the team captains have to step up and not only manage their teammates' sports strategies, but also manage their battle tactics as well as they face off against various dangerous fantasy creatures. Some of the players get imbued with magics and take on support roles, so it's up to the team captains to find out what their powers are and how to harness them for the team's benefit. Yes, the team has their troubles and interpersonal drama. Yes, because anime it makes a good show. But at the end of the day, they can set that all aside and come together as a team to beat their opponents and vanquish their foes. They also happen upon a small village that has never heard of this sport. Also, I always said sport because I didn't want to make it a specific sport. So they're able to help build the field/facility in the town and teach the sport to the villagers who spread word of their new favorite pastime throughout the realm.
Love it.
That's my idea.
Love it.
So you said specifically, before it was gaming, that your twin started, what was it, their pastime or?
Yeah, they tried to reconnect to the memory by taking part in the other's pastime.
Their other's pastime, a.k.a. a sport. And my thought now that we have...
Because I also have a thought, but go.
Okay, so from yours, before I said mine, I remembered it, thankfully.
Good.
My idea was that your twin dying still happens. And when the sports team with the alive twin goes to this new world, in the new world, there is a twin of your twin in the fantasy world.
But is it like a multiverse situation? It's not the actual twin?
No, it's like...
Because my idea was that, after hearing yours, that the twin that quote-unquote died is just in this magic place. And they are reunited there.
Yes, mine is... It is the twin.
Okay.
They died in their world, but it was sort of a... Instead of dying, they're transported to the fantasy world and are still alive. And it's them, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we had the same kind of thing going on.
Yes. Because if it's a multiverse and they don't remember them, then that's sad.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, you look like me and also my twin because we're twins. And then the fantasy person is like, you do look like me, but I don't have a twin. But I guess we're twins? Like, that'd be sad.
That would be.
Because then you have the whole, like, sort of amnesia, but is it the same person? Or maybe their memories are locked away by an evil wizard, you know, something like that. Which could be fun. But...
Not for this one.
I think it's actually them. They didn't die in a standard sense. They just were... Their mortal coil in our world was expired, and they were transported, body and mind, to Fantasyland.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I was thinking that Fantasyland just happened to be a digital world. I think that's the main difference between yours and mine.
Okay. So let's nail it down. Do we want it... They are transported to an actual fantasy world, or it is Sword Art Online, they're stuck in a VR fantasy world.
I mean...
I don't like the idea of them being stuck.
Having the ability to, like, step out of the world and get perspective is nice, but I would rather them just be teleported.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
I think it is, in all respects, it's one of those isekai, another world animes where there are weirdly MMO aspects in the world.
Well, I think that's just a given.
It's just a given that they have
how
menus
these things
and
work.
monsters and raids and all that good stuff. It's always weird from an outside perspective, starting an anime and they're transported to another world and you understand that they're not playing a game, but then they're like, oh, let me bring up my stats in this real place that I exist. And I'm like, that's not. You're bringing up like a digital stats screen and you have a level in reality? That's always weird.
We can skip that part if
I think we skip
to.
that part. But I think there are the sort of like generic or
the
tropey
like
sort of classes, powers. They have to say the spell name, like Magic Bolt.
Oh, yeah.
Level 3 Magic Bolt.
Yeah. No, that seems reasonable. They just aren't going to, like, all of a sudden...
They're like, I leveled up.
Yeah.
I'm learning. It is more fun when the leveling up is natural feeling. And they're like, oh, I learned cooking.
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, you learned the cooking skill if it were a game, but you learned cooking. You leveled up your carpentry by helping build the facility for your fun sport.
Because in real life, it's not maybe earmarked that way, but like you learn how to do one thing in carpentry and then all of a sudden, oh, I understand how that works. I can do basically the next
level. Wouldn't it be nice, though, if there was like a skill cap? An actual like number that you could visibly see if you, like in podcasting.
Yeah, but then we'd know how bad we are at it.
Yes. But we'd see our experience go up. Or would we...
We've stagnated.
We've hit the part where
We've hit the cap.
We hit the cap. We're fighting the low-level mobs that don't give us experience anymore.
Yep.
Shoot.
Yep.
Darn it.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Very sad. How do we get to that next area?
Tweet at us and let us know.
Send us your SEO marketing plans. If you, just
please.
Kidding. It's actual spam.
We're good, thanks.
I'm joking.
But, yeah, I think we borrow aspects without it being laid out like an actual game.
Yes. Which is fine.
But allows
depending on the studio, they might put them in there.
Yeah, I mean, we can only do so much. That way the team players have little slots to fill.
Exactly. Because that fits with mine a lot. And it's like the team captains are like the leader role.
I just had a thought.
What's that?
So this is pretty morbid.
Oh, God.
But you know how it's happened where there's been like a plane crash and an entire team doesn't make it?
No.
No? Okay.
No. Because it's not like the twin died in a horrifying manner or anything. Or like...
I'm just saying...
crash of some kind.
If the whole plane disappears and...
A la Lost.
The whole team is then transported.
Yes. Are they all dead?
No, because we decided, at least I decided, they're not dead. They've just been
But the twin
moved.
is dead.
No, I'm taking that back.
Okay, so they're not dead, they just are transported.
But they seem dead. They're missing, presumed dead.
Presumed dead. Okay, that's fine.
And so...
I do like this. They're on a plane trip going to a tournament in a different country.
It makes sense that the whole team that they were part of would be there, though.
They weren't just like in different places and all teleported randomly. It was like this travel, whatever happened, activates the magic fantasy portal.
Yeah. And maybe... never mind. I was thinking it could be like a phenomenon where it's like, oh, multiple portals opened up, but no one fell in except this one bus or something.
I think the idea of it...
we want to go into that.
I think the idea of it being unexplainable from our world perspective makes it more sense, where it's like, you don't have people being like, we're trying to find the portal. The last time this happened, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I don't want that either.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm picturing we have Earth Twin. Let's make this slightly clearer. We have Earth Twin is somehow looking to find Fantasy Twin and Fantasy Twin's team that went missing.
Oh, so they do think that they're not dead because of the whole missing thing.
It's so
they're like,
strange to them.
I don't believe that they just disappeared.
Was such strange circumstances that they just, and they've got that, what do you call it, twin tuition? Where they just feel
have a
like...
dream about them, and they're like, it feels so real. I saw them frolicking in a fantasy land.
They feel like there's got to be more.
Cooking with a pot.
Because they're, nothing was ever recovered.
And a wooden ladle.
Yeah, I mean,
we don't have
those
a dream. In the modern world.
No one uses wooden utensils.
Also, there was a fantasy familiar sort of creature.
I mean, there could be a dream. That's not the vibe I was thinking, but...
Twin tuition.
Twin tuition.
I get it. It can stop at that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they
get a vibe.
Which is why it was like, that's why I was asking, how are they going to go find the missing fantasy twin and fantasy team?
Okay, I was actually picturing the team being with the earthen twin.
Oh.
So there isn't a sort of detective-y twin tuition.
There's always going to be a little twin tuition.
There is.
Because it's fun to say.
And they are connected via deeper means than we can understand, as we both have no twins.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But there is a time period between the first twin getting...
You know what? That kind of makes sense, because in mine, they go into the game and they find, like, their
it's like
fantasy
old
twins
file, right?
Friends are still there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the team is still here, and they're also grieving.
It would be like...
That makes more sense.
They log into... like in yours, it would be like they log into an account that's connected, that has all the same friends who still play. Something like that.
Yeah.
But in this one,
it's the team.
They find this sport.
So it's...
That the first...
Only fantasy twin disappeared.
That fantasy twin was passionate about.
Okay.
And they say, oh, well, I'm going to get involved with this sport and
because
feel a deeper
so
connection.
Because it was so important to fantasy twin.
Exactly.
And these people actually knew fantasy twin.
Yes.
So and because they'd grown apart, that makes a lot more sense.
But it's like a year has passed, and...
Well, they had to practice. They had to get good enough to be on the team.
Exactly. They've been talking with the people. Like, they were at the funeral, pseudo-funeral, empty casket. They're like, I don't know.
Service?
Yes. They were like, well, we really do miss them, and you remind us so much of them, and if you ever want to join the team, like, blah blah blah, hit us up. And so they do, and they practice, and they get on the team, and they're feeling this connection that I think that's also what builds their connection as twins, is the sport fully, like, immersing them in this teamwork and camaraderie and whatever.
Yeah, and Earth Twin learns what Fantasy Twin had seen in this experience in the first place, whereas before it was like, that's just not my thing.
Exactly, yeah. They're like, oh, well, I'd rather
we used to be close, but we've kind of grown apart.
Yes. So it's like their pseudo-death, a.k.a. them being spirited away, leads to them joining this team. And instead, that is then the connection where then they're on the plane with the team.
Gotcha.
And then the Earth Twin and the new team, who is the old team.
Same, but time has passed.
The time has passed. People change. People move on. New players, old players alike. And
Fantasy Twin was the captain, right?
That's the thing. That's the perfect thing. Is Fantasy Twin was 100% the captain. A new team captain has had to step up. But they also confide in Earth Twin as sort of like, do you have any thoughts about,
I really feel like Fantasy Twin would have done something else.
Yeah.
Like, I feel strange.
And it's like, I think Earth Twin doesn't have the same aptitude for the sport, but is good enough and, like, enjoys it and has fun and is good, but not at, like, team captain level.
Yeah.
And so
they're new to it.
Yeah, so I think, because there's another thing. When the team then is going to a tournament, gets spirited away in the same manner, but this time all together instead of just
the one
Fantasy Twin. There is this new team captain who has had to step up, and they have drama there, that interpersonal drama I was talking about.
There we go.
With having to do this new role and not wanting to and not being secure in it, and then Fantasy Twin being back and fully wanting to be team captain again, but then they share the role because it is like a weird thing.
Yeah.
For them both to like do it. And then you get that fun dynamic there.
Mm-hmm.
And then the actual twins sort of being put in this position where they, like, a year has passed and everyone was kind of trying to move on, but then they're back. And then, well, they're not back, but they're all in the same place.
And now you've got new team captain that understands the dynamic of this team.
Yes.
And fantasy twin king captain, team captain.
King captain
is king here in the fantasy land, but like they have knowledge
yes.
of the fantasy land, but they
yes.
need to work together to understand how this new team formation can fit into this battling whatever.
Yes.
And maybe this is the one part we can do ahead of time. Fantasy Twin has already found a village and started building
yes.
whatever facility, but it's not done yet. And
it's
now,
not done, and they haven't found the actual, like, ball or...
Yeah, they don't have the equipment.
They don't have the equipment, and they don't have the sort of know-how to get people together as a sort of team to even start constructing it. So it's like they have the plans to do it, but they don't have the actual resources and people.
Or... Fantasy Twin has just found a weird meadow and has like put rocks around and is like, this is the field.
Oh yeah,
like,
they've done like a very basic
like,
version
kind
of it.
Pretending and strategizing,
yeah.
and because it's their passion.
But I like the idea that they are very good at doing the basic fantasy stuff, mm-hmm. and even some advanced fantasy stuff, including more battling and wielding weapons and stuff.
A fantasy thing that is similar to a sport, so that their sport aptitude could kind of shift towards something?
Oh, definitely.
Can you think of it,
like
though?
dodgeball, kind of.
Sorry. Dodgeball is legitimate. I didn't mean to laugh. But you're not wrong. That would be helpful.
Because it's like throwing things at things
yeah.
with accuracy and speed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it being then throwing spears or,
Yeah, because I'm thinking like a racket sport... helpful, but that's not really like a weapon so much.
Well, it could translate to wrist management and wielding swords and stuff. That's the thing. They could
be a fencing team. We could be really literal.
I don't think it's that, though.
It does seem like a cop-out.
I think it is like a sport, not like a dueling sport.
Something...
Well, not like a combat
fencing
sport.
isn't like a team sport.
Exactly.
Like you've got the whole team on the field.
But it's always
whatever.
1v1. Yeah.
Okay, we'll think about
that. Like, I'm trying to think, it's sort of like a new anime sport that's like a mix of soccer and dodgeball, But it can just be an old sport, but it's definitely more about the teamwork, working together.
Yeah, some team sport.
Than it actually having to do with actual fantasy.
We haven't asked in a while. Interns?
Interns, go work on...
Can you do some research and see what's similar between fantasy... stereotypical fantasy
Is it that
things
cool
and sports.
Southern American sport with the hole and the wall, and they hit it off there?
What?
You ever seen that?
No.
So it's like they're...
Is it like pickleball, kind of? Cornhole?
There's like a hoop, a stone hoop.
What?
Coming off a wall on a slanted wall. This is a real thing.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They found these ruins of... Or you're not ruins, just like old,
Yeah.
And it's like a big field with a wall or a slanted hill or something. And it has the hoop, and they hit it off their elbows and stuff. Like, this was a real sport.
Okay.
That, ancient civilizations had played and stuff.
Cool.
Something like that.
Well, interns, you'll find something in history that lines up.
Exactly. There's so many sports.
Mm-hmm.
Like, before I was writing, I almost just chose lacrosse.
That's funny because I was also thinking lacrosse.
Because I was like, what a weird sport that I don't think about very often.
Mm-hmm.
But here it is in my head.
It's like a tiny trebuchet.
Shoo. Yeah, sort of a sling sport.
Yeah.
It's not technically that, but it could technically be.
We don't need to iron it out. If you had
That's
something
why I
kept
it vague, because I really was like, is it lacrosse?
Okay,
I don't know.
Our intention is whatever talent this is translates well to something.
Exactly.
Leave it at that.
Everyone has, and that's the thing, it is less of the sport being combat and more of the sport having formations and team thing, somebody launching somebody off of a springboard into a battle maneuver.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, well, we can do that. It's like this play we've done in the past. Football, whatever.
Go team. Yeah. No, I think that's good.
Yes.
So we've got a happy
Wrestling,
little village.
Again, 1v1.
That the fantasy captain, fantasy twin, that's much easier, has kind of helped keep
Lived
safe.
in, yes.
They've become part of the community. They've started to build something off the side that is their sport of choice. But then the whole team shows up, and Earth Twin, Earth Team, and then together they can really help the village do the sport, bring people to realize like, oh, this is a great fun way to play.
I also like the idea of this fantasy twin sort of being the tutorial because they do have the know-how of our world to translate the skills into like, well, here's how to quickly do all this stuff. The spring water is specifically this and has this, it gives you mana and you can regen all your skills or whatever.
No, they can just fast track everything that they took time to learn.
And then in the show, that's more narratively satisfying because you don't have to worry about time. I think you can flash back to them being completely hopeless whenever you want, but it doesn't really apply to now the dynamic of the team being disjointed and people learning at different rates and stuff.
Why Fantasy Twin was brought in the first place and why Earth Twin and Earth Team are brought? Is there evil forces?
No,
it just like...
No, I think it goes back to it not mattering.
Blurping? Okay.
It not mattering.
There's not like a dark evil thing.
It was just like at some train station or, some late night boat trip or whatever. First Fantasy Twin, boom, they're in Fantasyland, and then it just happens again. And it doesn't... I'm personally
they're not fighting
sick.
Evil.
No, exactly. They're just fighting goblins and stuff that are naturally trying to attack a village and stuff. Yeah.
Stay alive and protect the village.
But it's like, I am personally tired of the trope where it's like a goddess or some entity that is like, oh, I need to reach into the human world, Midgard, and pull out a group of ne'er-do-wells or good doer, to help save our realm. And it's like, no. We don't need a big realm saving or even, we don't need a deity involved.
Okay.
We've
definitely done it before.
Yes.
So.
I think this is just the whims of fate and chaos have thrust actually randomly into this same world.
Okay.
And it does not matter beyond that because it all happens in the fantasy world afterwards.
Do they make it back to Earth when they want to? Do they discover like a bridge?
Nah.
No, they're just there? Okay.
They're just there. They live there happily ever after.
Okay.
In Fantasyland. Kind of like that one show I started watching and I couldn't handle it. There was a guy...
Was it the cell phone one?
No.
Okay.
That one I couldn't even watch the first episode. This was the one where he owned a pharmacy.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And I still couldn't handle it because it was bad. But he brought all of his pharmacy knowledge and applied it and stuff. But this is sport
now he made like potions and whatnot.
Yeah, exactly. So
cool.
There you go. But that one seemed chill.
Yes, it did.
Like if it was better, I probably would watch it, but it's bad. So
didn't find a lot of enjoyment in that one.
No,
but
pretty bad.
Does that mean we are at title?
I think we're at title time.
Okay.
What
are you
Title
feeling?
words would be sport word.
I mean, yeah. And like Fantasyland, kind of a...
That's it, yeah. Sport and fantasy?
Let's start.
Oh, all right. You want to do a sport word first or a fantasy word first?
Sport.
I'll do a fantasy. 3, 2, 1. Dream work.
Team.
Switcheroo. 3, 2, 1.
Why are you smiling like
Teamwork.
that? Oh, gosh. Mine's mana.
My full title. Teamwork makes the dream work.
I had a feeling you were headed that way.
It's not good.
See, I just thought like team mana.
Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work is fun. It's not good. It's not good.
It's a episode title then.
It is an episode title.
Yeah.
It is not the show title.
No.
Because I refuse.
I'm going to second your refusal.
But there is something team in there. Team.
Yeah.
Fantasy. It's why they were the words we decided.
Could we do something with like team captain or like captain fantasy captain, something, or the captain's battle?
Where the captain's battle?
The captain's battle.
The captain's battle? Oh, that's fun. Because a battle is like a sport match or
You got goblins.
a fantasy foe. I like it.
The captain's battle. And also just the captain got shoved in a different world and good luck, Captain.
Yes.
So.
Well, that's the whole title. Good luck, Captain. The captain's battle. No. I think the captain's battle is fun.
Good luck, Captain could definitely be an episode title.
Yeah. Good luck, Captain. And that's when they send the two captains off to settle their differences at the foot of a waterfall to fight the frog.
Or to go jousting. I don't know.
Something like that, you know.
They have options.
And it turns out okay, and the shot is their shoulder to shoulder, you know, hand over hand, helping each other out of the river, and they're like, whoa, you really showed that evil seahorse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They bond. I also would just like to throw in there Emperor's New Groove. When they lock arms back to back to like climb something. The second time where they're triumphant and confident about it.
The cliff. Yes.
So, just saying.
It's a great movie.
So good.
It's very good. I haven't seen it in a while, but it is just the most American anime I've ever.
But you like the captain's battle?
They play They play the ball in that game.
Do they really?
In that movie. I swear they do.
Well,
because isn't there a squirrel?
Yeah, squeaker,
the
squeak,
squirrel
squeakers.
is the ball in one of those scenes. Like, it balls up.
Okay, I guess we're doing a movie night soon. Get your popcorn ready, because...
Yeah.
I don't remember that part at all.
I swear, That's not where I learned about it. I learned about that in some, like, world history class.
Snoozeville. No, I'm kidding.
But also it's in that, which I think is more present in my brain.
I mean, it's a visual.
Visually, yes.
All right, well, we've been wanting to rewatch
it's totally
it anyhow,
in
right?
there. We gotta rewatch it.
Okay, well, that's homework for us. We give you homework, we give ourselves homework.
You can also watch it if you want, listener.
Of course. Always.
Just you can.
Yeah.
That's sometimes what podcasts are, is like people talking about stuff and you're like, oh, that is something that I could watch
I have
or
not
listen
seen
to.
that movie in a long time. Yeah.
Exactly. That's what happens when I listen to a podcast and
something comes up.
Somebody talks about something. I'm like, oh, yeah. I have added books to my like to read list based on people just talking about books.
That's cool.
Yeah. Because I'm like, oh, I like these people and they're talking about this in like a very passionate way. And I'm like, oh, well.
I want to read that.
There you go. Exactly. So.
And that's why we hope you listen to our songs that we feature every episode.
We're passionate about them because we spend then the following 30 minutes.
Or roughly. Who knows?
25.
Depends.
Yeah. Talking about it.
Talking about the captain's battle.
The captain's apostrophe S?
I was thinking just the one captain.
Captain's apostrophe S.
Yeah, not captain's battle. So
or like the captain's battle? They battled each other?
No, apostrophe.
Apostrophe S.
It is the battle of the captain.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Perfect. I like that. Because it's the twofer, you get the battle, and then the captain. Yeah. The captain is twofer because you have the new captain that took over and the old captain that they find in the fantasy world.
And captain is also like a military thing, right? So,
which has tactical sort of nuance to it.
I think it works.
It's good. I like it.
Thank you.
It's sporty. Captain's battle with an apostrophe. That's going to do it for Captain's Battle. Who do you want to be in the Captain's Battle?
Wow, it's really getting a lot of airtime.
I am in the Fantasy Bakery.
Oh.
Always.
Well, you know where I'm going to be visiting.
Eating that fantasy bread. Good.
Maybe you have a new recipe you want a certain special customer to taste.
Yes.
That could be an innuendo, but it's not supposed to be. It's just like, I tried a new recipe.
No, you got to come into the back to get this.
Look at this,
new recipe.
Scone with berries in it or something.
Yes. It's supposed to increase your battle fortitude.
You're leaning into it too hard. I'm getting creeped out. I'm going to leave the bakery.
Come back. It's a new recipe.
I think that'd be cute, though.
Yes.
Minus the weird overtones.
Undertone.
And so you know who you want to be, and that's...
Yeah.
That's it.
That's Instant Anime.
Just have music.
I'm Jimmy.
I'm Sarah.
Yes. That's this episode. Captain's Battle. Single captain. They don't battle each other, except they do in that one episode that we titled and I forgot.
Good luck, Captain.
Good luck, Captain. That's it. That's a good episode title.
Thank you.
It's fun. So yeah, that's going to do it for this podcast, this episode. Not this podcast.
I was going to say,
entirely.
Whoa.
I think I've said that before.
And we keep coming back.
And we just keep coming back as like, just kidding.
Gotcha.
But that's this week's episode, Captain's Battle. And that is going to do it for us. We're going to spiel you now with the spiel. The first thing on the spiel is our Twitter. It's the one social media we have. It's at Instant Anime Pod, where we post GIFs teasing upcoming episodes when we remember to do so. Otherwise, the pinned tweet is the suggestion form, where if you want to be like ourselves or the many people who have sent in suggestions that are either already anime or
pending,
waiting in the wings, just chomping at the bit to become the next anime hit, there is a simple form that you can fill out that is the song title, the artist, and then your name if you want a shout out, or you just leave it anonymous. And then we give you a name. Like, whoever would have given us this song would have been the sportiest
little kid ever did at sport at the
just the
village.
Big sport fan.
Yeah.
Big sport fan.
The, like, water kid.
Yes.
The helper.
Water boy. Yes. Like Adam Sandler in the
moving
movie.
right along.
But that's the Twitter.
Yes.
Other than Twitter, we have a website.
Which is what I was going to say.
I cut you off.
Yes, you did, but you can find it at instantannie.may. Regardless of who says it, that's where it is. You can check it out. It has all of our episodes with clickable links in the descriptions. If you need help finding songs, you can find them there. We got the YouTube video. We have sidebars. Nope. We have one sidebar full of different podcatchers and some other nifty things too.
Yeah.
Including the suggestion form. That's there as well.
We just push the suggestion form because it is a fun way for you
to interact. Yeah.
Listen to a song and then go, I wish this was an anime. And then someday we'll make it an anime. Because we got that list.
Yep.
And then we're going to do it.
Yep.
I swear. Last thing would be, if you have the time, to leave a rating, review of the podcast. We would love to see that on wherever you listen. It's definitely easier on some podcatchers. But wherever you listen, if you are able and have the time and the patience to figure out how to do it.
The willingness.
The willingness.
The wherewithal.
Then it really helps us out. And you wouldn't believe what we do when we read them. We smile ear to ear. That's going to do it for this week. We'll see you again for the next anime when we do it next time. Bye.